What's up, everybody? Today I thought I would show my age just a little bit and talk about a subject in natural bodybuilding that I feel isn't embraced as it should be. And maybe that's just because of my age and the amount of time I've been in the gym, but that's uh, patience. Having patience in natural bodybuilding as far as muscle development and also in regards to prep, as far as getting yourself lean and into contest shape. Patience, in my opinion, needs to be uh, high up on the totem pole, because let's face it, getting muscles bigger and getting leaner, like shredded, takes time and it's a process. And if you're not patient in that process, it can lead you to do some things that might be a little bit of a detriment. So if we look at, I want to bring an example like, it wasn't too long ago, my girl's daughter, she's only 8, was tying her shoe, and she was having trouble um, tying the shoe. She was in a hurry trying to tie it as fast as she could, and it kept, every time she go to try to slip that knot, into a bow, boom, it would come out, and or it'd slip out. The bows would slip out, and she couldn't get it. Of course, my response to her was, take your time, be a little more patient, take a big breath in, take your time. And, if you actually take your time, you're going to be quicker at doing it and more efficient, and you're going to get that bow. And, of course, she didn't want to hear that, being that she's 8 and she wanted to do it her own way. So she kept trying to do it as fast as she could, and she couldn't get it. So basically, I got a little bit irritated. I bent down and tied her shoe and showed her, see how slow I'm going, how patient I am, and how precise. And then boom, the bow, the knot ended up being perfect. The bows were perfect, and I tied her shoe relatively quickly, even though I was moving a little bit slower pace. It was because I was more efficient with the movements, and it was precise. That everything came in all together, and that bow was perfect. So that's just one example of having some patience, where if you actually not rush, but actually do things at a good pace, that's a controlled pace, um, things will actually go faster because you're doing it more efficiently and correctly and precisely. Um, another thing with patience that I could relate to, as far as I think I was like 12 years old in 1983. I was watching a boxing match, and that match, I was into boxing, when I was a kid in my teens, and actually in my 20s and 30s. But now the boxing is kind of on its on the way out. But that's a whole nother video. But anyway, this boxing match was between, it was a heavyweight championship fight between the heavyweight champ was Larry Holmes at the time. I'm not sure if you older guys know, you guys know who Larry Holmes is. If you're younger, you're probably like, who the heck is Larry Holmes? But anyway, this Larry Holmes was champion of the late 70s. I think he was champion all the way to, I want to say, 87, 86, 87. But he defended the title so many times. He was a great heavyweight champ. Had a great right jab, nice right cross. I mean left jab, right cross. And he was fighting this kid, and a kid at the time, I don't remember how old he was, but it was Marvis Frazier, Joe Frazier's son. And Marvis Frazier, going into that fight, only had 9 fights under his belt, just 9. Here's this guy with little inexperience being thrown into the ring with uh, this great heavyweight champion who's defended the title I don't know how many times up to that point, and basically was a veteran and seasoned, experienced fighter. And little, the bell rang, and basically that fight didn't even last 1 round. Marvis Frazier, with little inexperience, basically he got caught with a right hand, didn't even see it coming. He got dropped. He did get back up, but it didn't last much longer. He was getting punished. And so the moral of the story was, they threw him into the ring with this veteran who, and they weren't patient with this kid to mature him, to let him develop as a pro boxer. It was basically just, they rushed this kid, and there was no patience, and he paid the price. He got his ass dropped with one right hand that he didn't even see it come. He didn't even see it coming. It was just he got dropped pretty quickly. And so yeah, that pretty much demoralized that guy, that kid, Marvis Frazier, and he really didn't have too much of a what do you call it, career after that. He later on he got thrown into the ring again with Mike Tyson, and similar situation ended up. He didn't even last 20 seconds. He got dropped by an uppercut, devastating uppercut, and yeah, he was done. So basically, it's like here's these two things I just brought up as far as having some patience, letting things take its course, letting the process. So for natural bodybuilding, it's letting the process of getting gym time in, get the gym time in to develop the muscles and understand it takes time to mature, not only physically but mentally as well, and understanding that it is a process, things do come, and you know, it just frustrates me when I see young guys wanting to do push more and more, push harder and harder, when sometimes the answer is not push harder and harder, more and more, but actually be smarter and smarter and be more patient and to let progress take its course. I'm not saying there's not things you can do to make progress speed up, but I'm saying what I see is a lot of guys, for instance, going into the gym, throwing on too much weight than they should be lifting. The form gets it's not very good, and injuries take place, and it sets them back even more. So being impatient with their lifts can actually be a detriment because they're injuring themselves, they're getting strains, sprains, tears, whatever the case may be. It sets progress back even more so than if they were to. It's kind of like going back to tying the shoe. If you were to just do things nice and precisely, take your time with the lifts, take your time making that bow, you're gonna get ahead faster than what you think you could if you were just to take things a little bit slower pace. Um, so yeah, that, and then it comes me to not just muscle development, but also contest prep. Guys want to they get impatient. They want to get shredded. They want to get shredded fast. So it makes them do things to their, again, to something that's going to be bad for them. So they drop their calories too low. They do too much cardio. They're training too hard in the gym, too much intensity, too much failure. So they're not getting good recovery. And again, by being impatient, it's actually hurting them. Where if they just, again, pull the reins back a little bit, be patient, make sure your food's high enough. Just make sure the deficit's just enough to get the job done without hurting recovery, without hurting your muscle fullness. Strength in the gym, make sure strength is up. So um, just having that patience and being in control of yourself and not being in a hurry can go a long, long way. Um, Not only just for the meantime, like the present moment, but for your longevity. And that's one thing I can say. In the beginning of my career, is like I was kind of in a hurry, and it didn't. It took me quite a while to realize that, wow, okay, this is not about how much I can do right now. That I have to do more and more, but it's cumulative, meaning it's going to take. It's a process. It's the more I do over time, is where the progress comes and the results come. So that's kind of my rant. I've been talking for a little bit now here for a while, but I just wanted to say, if you guys, some of the young guys, even maybe some of the older guys out there, if you guys are constantly in a hurry, constantly stressing on improving, and really stressing and trying to hurry, you just might do a little bit better if you relax a little bit and have some poise, some control, and learn to have some patience and understand it, because it's really hard to teach somebody patience, but it's like you have to kind of come to grips with, okay, I need to have patience and I need to be okay with it. I need to accept it and realize it is part of natural bodybuilding. It's a big part. And I'll leave you with this. This is some befores and afters. This is just various points in my career as far as the early shots, and then the later shots are from 2011, 2009, somewhere in there. But it takes years, and just wanted to throw that out there. All right, guys, have a good day. I'll talk to you guys later.